It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. Shout out to my man Mike for bringing this to my attention. But apparently Dax did an Oliver Anthony Richmond North of Richmond remix. So you know we got to dive into this. Dax has been on point lately. I've been enjoying it. The lyrics have been there. The topics, he's been doing his thing. And I think that last track that he just had with Adam Calhoun and Tom McDonald, I felt like Dax took that track. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They all did their thing. There's no like, nope, nobody did a bad verse on that track, but I always like to point out the person that I feel like went above and beyond, and I felt like Dax actually did that. So let's dive into this, and let's see how he remixed it.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to.
It is.
For people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. The Richmond, North of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
This is dope. Before we dive in, I know people are like, why did you pause it already? I just want to point out that this man did a interview with Joe Rogan, Oliver Anthony, and it's an amazing interview. I've only watched a piece of it so far, but it's a really good interview, and it's crazy how he's getting attacked from both sides. People are saying that he's pushing for the left is saying he's pushing for the right, and he honestly doesn't really rock with either side. It's a really interesting interview. So if you've not heard it and you're interested in what this man has to say beyond just the song, I would recommend that you guys check out that Joe Rogan interview.
This world has changed and I had to accept it. They ask my political views while I search for their hidden agendas. I don't got an answer, I try to remember the devil divides. Pressure appears from our peers. Those arguments waste our time while helping to push their lies, so fuck political views.
Facts.
I got common sense.
Yes.
I know God made man, and the sun sets on a life where we focus on things that we cannot control and accumulate so much regret. By the time we decide to live, we're practically already dead, so I go to sleep with the thought.
By the time we decide to live, we practically already dead. That's some real shit. And honestly, I like what he said. Basically, F the political views. I've got common sense. I don't like, because it's all there to divide you. And like he said, the devil divides. That's the whole point of it. And I'm not even trying to look at this from a religious standpoint, but I'm just saying like that's literally what that whole system is there for. It divides people. And it's just creating more and more division between us when a lot of us have the common sense to understand that. Or we should, at least, you'd think. It's probably not as common as it used to be, but common sense, it should still exist. And we should still see that there's so much bullshit that goes on and so much stuff that just gets sold to us just so they could get a vote, so they could get a view. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I already like this. I already like this.
Just wanna have total control.
This world has changed and I had to accept it. They ask my political views while I search for their hidden agendas. I don't got an answer, I try to remember the devil divides. Pressure appears from our peers. Those arguments waste our time while helping to push their lies, so fuck political views. I got common sense.
I'm saying.
I know God made man, and the sun sets on a life where we focus on things that we cannot control and accumulate so much regret. By the time we decide to live, we're practically already dead, so I go to sleep with the thoughts of 45 years living in debt. 45 years can't pay rent. 45 years just for a pension. I'm too old to enjoy and go spend 45 years working and slaving for rich men with no time for my family and friends. Then I wake up and pray that it ends.
Living in the new world with an whole soul. The Richmond, North of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
Descendants of Adam and Eve, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They're taking God out the schools. Our kids don't know what to believe. From 6 to 18, the curriculum fails and Gen Z gets taught by their phones with forced feeds that get sponsored and paid by companies. That's how they attack us, it starts with the youth. If you lie enough, you'll convince anybody the lie's the truth. So telling these kids they can choose their own gender at ages they can't even tie their own shoes, drive or drink.
Thank you. Oh, I got so much more respect for Dax. I got so much more respect. Stop playing. Listen, like he said, you're trying to teach kids to choose a gender and all this stuff when they don't even know how to tie their shoes yet. Like they don't. This is one of the, like I'm saying, like you don't even understand what life is yet, and you're trying to push on these kids to make decisions that are going to change the entirety of their life. when they don't even get it yet. Like I say this a million times over. Think about when you were like a little kid up until when you were in your teens, right? And you're like, wow, I didn't know much when I was a kid. I was stupid. Then when you get in your 20s, you realize how dumb you were as a teenager. Then when you get into your 30s, which if you haven't yet, you'll get there eventually. But for those of us that have gotten there, you look back at your 20s like, shoot, I didn't really know that much, right? Like you're constantly in this learning phase of life. And to think that you're going to make a decision at like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like at any of these ages, that's going to affect the rest of your life? Like, that's wild to me. It's wild to me. What else do you do at that age that affects the rest of your life that you're expected to make a decision on, or you're allowed to make such a big decision on? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's not, you don't even pick what you want to do for life yet. Like, I mean, you might have an idea, oh, I want to do this when I grow up, but you don't even really pick it and go into that profession or anything until you graduate, potentially go to college or some kind of school that can help train. Like, it's just wild to me that this is something that it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I got a lot of respect for Dax to put that in his song. Not like he's the first person to do it. A lot of people have, but to hear it and have it continue to be reiterated in these different artists' music, it's necessary anymore. And it's sad that it's necessary, but it's necessary. And that's just, I don't know. Like I said, not everybody has to agree with me, but that shit's wild to me. It don't make no sense. I've done videos on my Tribe Reacts channel. For those of you guys that follow it, you probably already have seen these videos, but there's been videos of like a mom who said that their kid at 2 years old, oh, well, I knew it too, that, you know, she wanted to be a boy or he wanted to be a girl. I forget which way it was, but I'm like, at 2 years old, the kid doesn't even know who remembers two, right? Like the kid doesn't even have a concept of like reality in any aspect, but you somehow think that you could tell what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? And I always use myself as an example. When I was a kid, I liked to play with my sister's Easy Bake Oven. It didn't mean I wanted to be a fucking girl. It just meant that I thought that the Easy Bake Oven was cool, and so I wanted to bake shit too. You know, and then on the side, I played with my Creepy Crawlers one. For anybody that knows what I'm talking, the Creepy Crawlers, that was the shit. But anyways, and it probably was really unhealthy cooking that kind of stuff. To be honest with you, that was kind of wild. But anyways, it just like, it blows my mind that we have this mentality of like, oh, I see this little thing. Okay, well, it must mean this. Let's push the agenda. No, please stop. Please, it's crazy, man. I feel so bad for kids these days. It's a rough world in general, but it's getting really, really bad for the kids, I think.
For Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
It's giving me chills.
Descendants of Adam and Eve, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They're taking God out the schools. Our kids don't know what to believe. From 6 to 18, the curriculum fails, and Gen Z gets taught by their phones with force feeds that get sponsored and paid by companies. That's how they attack us. It starts with the youth. If you lie enough, you'll convince anybody the lie's the truth. So telling these kids they can choose their own gender at ages they can't even tie their own shoes. Drive or drink is crazy. Common sense isn't common unless it pays me. That's the thought process daily. Look at the content we're creating, lies diluting our brains. I'm done trying to argue online with these people who think that a vote's gonna bring about change. How many presidents does it take to have a life worth living? An actual comfortable wage. No more school shootings. Let's unite these states.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me. People like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world. Woo. With an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
Stop playing. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Dax. On this one. This is the kind of stuff that needs to happen. And I know some people don't like to hear it, like, oh my God, my artist that I like, and why are they talking about stuff that's potentially political, and why are they giving their opinion on these different topics? Just be a rapper. But that's really what rap should be about, right? Like bringing attention to things, because your music can reach so many different people, and you know, like that's the point of music, in my opinion. That's the point of hip hop. It's not just like, yo, rap about bitches and drugs and da-da-da-da, and let me just show you how fast I can rap, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about telling stories, which sometimes might be fictional. Doesn't have to always be, you know, nonfiction, but other times it's about stuff like this, where you talk about what's going on in your community. And right now, the whole world is going through this, and maybe not the whole world. This country, the whole world is not going as crazy as we are, but this is our community. United States of America, right? No matter where you live, this is touching your community in some way, some fashion, some form. So it's something that needs to be talked on. So I don't like when people try to push, whether it's a rapper or it's a sports figure, or it's just like, oh, they shouldn't talk about these things. They don't know. Well, they don't know. Neither do you, right? Like, it's like the person that says that is a dude who's working at fucking Dairy Queen. Like, oh, I don't like fucking when LeBron James talks about politics. Just keep playing basketball. It's like, motherfucker, then keep working at Dairy Queen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? I don't understand what. I don't understand that mentality of like, oh, this person can't talk about this subject because you're not that. You're a rapper, or you're a basketball player, or you're a football player, or you're this, or you're that. So why are you talking about this? It's like, motherfucker, so are you. And I don't see you in the fucking politic sphere, like doing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that the whole point is that we do talk about it because it's us. It affects us. We're the ones that are living in this world. We're the ones that are making the choices to vote for this person or that person or what we want to change. And like, it's literally, that's what we should be doing, is talking about it. So I don't like when people try to say that you shouldn't talk about shit like that. So shout out to Dax, shout out to High Res, shout out to Tom McDonald, shout out to anybody that goes out there and is willing to speak on things and stuff that they want to talk about, regardless of what other people think about it. I got respect for that. So comment below, let me know what you guys thought about this one, and I will catch you in the next one, homies.
I don't believe in the future, so I just look to my past life. I take all the lessons I've learned and then I create me a moment you can't write. It's different than dreams, it's different than wishing for shit that you see. It's something you build, you gotta shed tears, and if you gon' live it, accept that you'll bleed. This ain't a drill, that's just a beat. This shit is real, cause that's what you need. This is the pill, that is the seat. Take you a moment before you concede. I got a lot of shit waiting on change, but every day wake up and do it the same. I'm sick of my mind, it's out of control. I thought it was fine, but that was a phase. I mean, it's like, I got a chance, why would I blow it? It's all that I have.